Howdy. John DeCompos here from Terrible Games, and I just wanted to do a video update for July. Uh, yeah, a week from tomorrow, it'll be a year since we launched the Kickstarter campaign. Obviously, we ran for 30 days after that, so the campaign ended sometime in August. I don't remember the exact date, but about a year has lapsed since we finished the Kickstarter, where roughly 560 backers were generous enough to help us raise around $29,000. And that money is sitting right now. We have a company account. All of those funds are there. We've had to spend a bit of it to do some contracted work. For those who don't know already, as you can maybe tell by looking behind me, I do all of the illustration work for Token Terrors and Terrible Games. That's going to change soon. We're looking at licensing some games from some other creators to release next year, but for the time being, our art budget comes completely out of my sweat. So that includes the 40-page comic book, all of the artwork for the core game for the 1v1 experience, and one of the larger projects that ended up changing during the course of the last year was the solo mini games that we developed. So it's always been our intention to sell Token Terrors miniatures by themselves outside of our 1v1 experience. They're going to come in a small box that would have a plastic dome top, so you can see the durable little dice-sized minis shaking inside. And as I was designing the packaging, I had an idea that maybe it would be it would be really cool to include a little solo experience to give them a little bit more value for retailers and for people who buy the miniatures by themselves. You know, this may sound weird, but when executing this idea in partnership with our manufacturer, I told them very bluntly that we need these. We're talking 2 or 3 pieces of chipboard, a pop board with some and some cards. And obviously, I fit the bill with my time and talent to do all the artwork for the mini games. And I brought on 5 other independent designers. Some of them have had some published work, some of them not, to design solo adventures for each faction. So each faction gets their own unique mini game. And I got a comment on one of the updates, the update from last month, from somebody saying that they didn't think it was fair that somebody who paid $45 for the 1v1 battle, skirmish game that we created around Token Terrors, to not get to experience, the solo game. Somebody who pledged for $10 for a mini, a 6-pack of miniatures, or $20 for 2 6-packs of miniatures would get, 2 solo. So there's a couple different things that I want to address there. We are looking at the possibility of maybe doing a brick of all the solo game components and making it so that you can purchase that at a very low cost. Because as I mentioned, these materials are not expensive. They're not premium products. They are there to make a solo game functional in partnership with the 6 miniatures that you get. So if you get the 6 zombies, you'll have a mini game that utilizes your 6 zombie miniatures. If you need a bunch of zombies for Magic the Gathering or for minions and TTRPGs, you might buy 3 packs of zombie minis. You'll have 3 copies of the same zombie game. Maybe you can give the other 2 away to a friend or something like that. But I understand the concern of not being able to see the content, but the idea didn't actually happen until after we were done with the campaign and all the purchases have been confirmed. So we're going to try and figure out some solutions to make those available to people. And I think that if we were to sell them all in a collection as a brick of solo mini games, that you if you own the core game, you have enough Token Terrors minis to just take out 6 soldiers to play the Gauntlet, which is the solo mini game for the soldiers. Take them out and play the soldier mini game, no problem. And that goes across the board. So I want to figure out a way to do that. The main thing, though, let me just try to bring this back around, is we are officially done. We turned in all the art assets, everything we need, layout, rule book, the Token Terrors, Tome of Terrors, Minions Manual, which is the cards, the Grudge and Tactics stuff, the sealed envelopes, the stick. I mean, everything. I think our company, we maybe overpromised a little bit. I'm okay with that. I'm sorry that it's caused a delay in production. That is my fault. And at the end of the day, when you guys receive your rewards, I think you're going to be really impressed and really pleased with the amount of content that we're providing to you for your pledge. The core game is going to get a fully illustrated, full color, 40-page comic book that has professional layout work. It's cover to cover content. It gives you a ton of lore and history about the world of Token Terrors. The rule booklet, we've added, an entirely new section for the Grudge and Tactics cards, and we included a world map with a quick overview of a lot of lore stuff that surrounds the different factions of Token Terrors in Season 1. And, we worked on this. We didn't hit this funding goal. We didn't get the stretch goal we wanted at 30,000 to make the battle books, but we talk to our manufacturers and figure out a way to make it possible so we could make these, because a lot of you expressed interest in getting them done. The box size also is going to be about this big, so it's a little larger than initially we had planned. This was the first box, so we'll be able to fit a ton of stuff in there, and this will work for the Warlord's Wealth package. But right now we had a couple pages of revisions that our manufacturer asked us about in regards to some of the solo minigame components, as well as some issues they had with the cards and a couple other things with layout. We addressed all that last week. Everything is officially done. I'm waiting for the complete just confirmation from Gameland that we are good. Here is when the proof copies are going to show up. Here is when we can move to manufacturing. And I think that last time we spoke about the manufacturing schedule, it was probably going to be between 4 to 6 weeks for them to run all of our components off and get everything packaged and set up and ready to ship. And that brings me to the next thing. If you're not aware, and I know that with Token Terrors, we had a huge amount of support from people who are local to Baltimore, who are part of mine and my partner's personal network, because they've been hearing us talk about Token Terrors and being a part of the board game community and doing stuff on Kickstarter for many years leading up to us actually doing the campaign. So there's a lot of people who are new to the hobby who supported us. And I think there's probably a good chunk of our backers who are the opposite of that, who are very well-versed tabletop hobbyists who know exactly what I'm about to say. The pandemic has shifted shipping of goods and freight costs to a insanely ballooned amount. In some cases, upwards of where normally international freight and shipping would run between $1,500 and $3,000, maybe $3,500 to get your products onto a shipping container to get on a boat from China to the United States. A 40-foot container now, if we were going to pack a 40-foot container, which we're not going to, I think that we'll probably end up taking up about a quarter of a 40-foot container. But if we were to try and purchase a 40-foot container and fill it all the way up and ship it from China to the United States, could be between $18,000 and $25,000. That is how much the price has gone up. Everybody in the board game industry, everybody from your big companies to little guys like us, are feeling the sting of this problem. It has me kind of freaked out because we definitely do not have the money to cover freight at that exorbitant cost. That said, I think that we have some resources at our disposal, maybe personal funds, maybe loans from family, that might be able to get us into a storage container. I'm currently in a Facebook group where it's a lot of indie publishers who are looking at splitting the cost of getting all of their stuff coordinated from a single port in China, delivered to a single port in America, where we're all going to basically chip in together and get our product into a single crate and buy a crate ourselves and split it up. We're also a couple months out from actually needing to worry about that. This situation might improve. There's a handful of people who are speculating that this is going to remain this way. Others that say it'll settle back down into something that resembles what the normal costs were before the pandemic, sometime next year, which would be awful. I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of the board game industry and the international shipping concern to make sure that we still deliver this game. We have to, full disclosure, after we ran Repugnant, which we're also going to deliver on in the fall. Tony and I are working on that. I'll do a little bit more on the Repugnant stuff on a campaign update for that project later. That is making forward progress, by the way. But Kickstarter has already told me flat out, as a creator, Terrible Games as a creator on Kickstarter, we cannot do any more projects until we deliver on both Token Terrors and Repugnant. Until those two things are in the hands of backers and we say that we fulfilled them both, we're stuck. So speaking personally, like, there's nothing I want more than to deliver on Token Terrors. It's been 5 years in the making. It's been a ton of my personal energy and work, as well as the members of my team, Shannon, Tim, Lucas, and Phil. We've all done a lot and sacrificed quite a bit to get this game out to the market. And it really is like our first foray into trying to form a legitimate company, having our own small business that we can call our own, that we can grow. And looking at this issue with shipping is, it's a drag, to say the least. That's an understatement. It's a real bummer. And I know that there are other creators who are in the exact same shoes I'm in, dealing with the same stuff. So, we're going to figure it out. Gameland has been amazing. As of now, just under a year from when we did the campaign, and I thank you again for your patience, we are done. The rules are play tested. The game is good. We've been still play tested. I love playing the game just for fun, and I've been doing it, and I think we really got something special on our hands. And I hope you guys can share that with us. I hope you really enjoy the game when you get it. If I had to speculate now when it would arrive, I think that would be a little irresponsible, because I can't really make any promises at all. Nothing even remotely resembling a promise. But let's just say everything goes right. We'll probably be looking at proofs in the next 4 weeks, maybe 5. So end of August, I'll probably receive proofs of everything. And that's going to include the Warlord's Wealth, an entire display box full with 18 solo mini games for the 6-pack battle blocks, a set of completed and finalized battle books, the core game, the whole thing, the whole Megillah. They're going to send it over. I'll be able to share pictures, show you what the goods are going to look like. After that, I have to talk to the manufacturers and see what they say. It could be a situation where, the shipping problem isn't quite resolved. So maybe we have them hold off on running the full manufacturing order until things sort of settle a little bit. Or maybe they tell us, like, send us the money, we'll run the manufacturing order, and we'll warehouse it. I don't know if they'll offer to warehouse our stuff for free until we're ready to ship, or we work out those specifics. But believe me when I say this, like, this whole entire project, Token Terrors in general, is like occupying a huge part of my mental real estate. And the sooner I get this thing on a boat and to the United States and fulfilling to our backers, the sooner that box in my brain gets checked off and I can, like, give myself over to not being consumed by this release, by Token Terrors Season 1. There are other things, obviously, that we want to do with Token Terrors. We want this to be an ongoing series. We have a ton of good ideas and mechanics for expanded factions and new models, and more durable dice-sized mini monsters that you can throw in a dice bag, throw in your pocket, take to D&D, take to Magic the Gathering, just play with as toys, have little adventures, or use in a 2v2 mode that we're working on, or 1 versus many dungeon crawl, or just keep on playing our regular 1v1, but possibly have like a tournament edition mode where we can maybe do tournaments and give out prizes or something. I don't know. In the meantime, we're working on other stuff, and yeah, that's basically it. If you watched all this, thanks so much. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'm also going to post a link to this in our Kickstarter updates, along with a quick little synopsis. And I just thought it would be better for you guys to actually see me and kind of hear where I'm coming from as, like, the day-to-day person behind Terrible Games, and just understand that, like, I'm also a backer of Kickstarter projects. I love supporting other indie creators. The majority of my game collection is other small indie publications that I purchased off Kickstarter, so I understand what waiting is about. We are going to make good on this. We're going to deliver the game. The money is there. All the stuff is done. We just have to keep on moving forward. And that's what we're going to do. So thanks very much. And hopefully next month I'll have even better news for you. Bye.